Now then, YouTube, well, it's been a little while, hasn't it? And why is that? Well, I'm going to tell you why that is, because I have been in a trough of despond. I've been in a terrible place, awful, and I didn't really want to come on here and broadcast just how hideous the past 6 or 8 weeks have been. For newbies, let's just catch up a little while. I came out of chemo at the end of January, started making steady progress with a few setbacks. And by August, I was feeling pretty good, actually. I was feeling great. I did a big road trip through 4 or 5 different countries, took the bike, obviously, did a couple of 100 kilometers in the week, which was great for me. And I was heading north from Spain back to the UK very slowly. Bike in the back of the car, lots of lovely, lovely rides around lakes and mountains and lots of different countries. It was fabulous. And I felt pretty good, actually. Very, very windy, very windy. I felt the best I'd felt in months and months and months. There was still some fatigue around, but I felt like I was making really, really serious progress. Then I got hit with a thing I've had before, which is called atrial fibrillation. For those who don't know, that is an electrical disturbance of the heart, and the effect is that your heart rate bounces around like crazy. Like, I could do my heart rate now on my watch, and it would be about 80 beats a minute, going up to 90, going up to 110, and that's all within the space of a second or two. The effect of that is it leaves you kind of very tired, lots of fatigue, lots of breathlessness, and physical activity of almost any kind has been extremely difficult. I once, rather ill-advisedly, went out on the bike, and I ended up doing not much, 25, 30 kilometers. And there were 3 climbs. And on each climb, I looked down at my Garmin just to check on my heart rate. And towards the top of the climb, it got up to 200 beats a minute. Now, bear in mind, I'm a pretty low beater, always have been. My heart rate max was about 160. I think it's a bit less now. So that was a pretty scary number. That was a pretty scary number. At first, I thought it was some kind of anomaly on the heart rate belt. But then I went back and looked at the Strava track, and it just coincided exactly with me putting a bit of effort in to do 3 short hills. So I figured, no more cycling, not while the AFib is on. Anyway, so the AFib, I went to see a cardiologist, and I was hoping for the old boom paddles on the chest, which is called an electrical cardioversion. I've had 2 of those before. They've been extremely successful and quite long lasting. Each one has lasted 2.5, 3 years, which is a long time. It's a good outcome, that. And I kind of expected the cardiologist would just say, yeah, fine, let's do another one. But no, he didn't. He tried me on some anti-arrhythmic drugs. I really didn't want to try those, to be honest, because I'm still taking a lot of medication to keep the cancer in check, and I just didn't want to be popping any more pills, to be quite honest with you. I feel my body has been through enough without subjecting it to, more medication. Anyway, you've got to go with the doctors, haven't you? So I went with the doctor. He was a very eminent guy. I mean, I checked him out. Super experienced. I mean, literally one of the leading authorities on this branch of cardiology in the world. So I had to trust him. It didn't work. It did not work at all, and what's more, it gave me some pretty unpleasant side effects. So earlier than he would have liked, I sacked them off. I just said, I'm not doing that anymore. And I went back to see him and said, the anti-arrhythmic drugs have not worked. What next, matey boy? And he said, okay, I'm not going to do another cardioversion. I'm going to do something called a cardiac ablation. This is kind of one step up from the cardioversion, and if it works, and it's got a very high success rate, it will be, or should be, a permanent fix. No more atrial fibrillation, no more living in fear that this damn thing is going to come back and I'm going to have paddles on the chest. But there's always a delay between the AFib coming back and getting treated, so you have 6, 8, 10 weeks of pretty miserable existence, actually. And that's why I've had pretty miserable existence. So I didn't want to come on here and just moan and whinge and, take you down into my trough of despond. That's why I've been away so long. Anyway, exciting news. A couple of days ago, I got the date for the cardiac ablation, and in a week's time, I'm going into a super high-tech clinic in Girona, where I am being treated by, this could only kind of happen in Spain. There are 3 brothers. The first guy that I saw, he's got 2 brothers who are also unbelievable world-leading authorities on atrial fibrillation and arrhythmic disorders of all kinds. There's always a brother in Spain, or a cousin, or a sister. You know, it's part of the charm of the place, to be honest. It's so family-orientated. A bit weird in cardiology, but, you know, maybe they're all brought up the same way, and they've all got a massive interest and expertise in hearts. It certainly looks that way. Anyway, I'm being treated by him in a week's time. The treatment is, they put a very thin wire tube thing in through the groin. It goes straight up into the heart. They map it, and they see where the source of the arrhythmia is. Before the mapping, the first cardiologist said, look, this is a simple arrhythmia. I'm very confident this treatment's going to be successful. Anyway, they map it, and then they put another tube in. Don't know whether it goes inside the first tube. I don't know. There's another tube goes up into your heart, and they either freeze, I'm not quite sure whether they freeze or burn or laser, I think in some cases, that bit of the heart that's causing the arrhythmia. And again, like cardioversion, boom, it's instant. I shall be immediately back in rhythm. Yeah, so that's in a week's time. And to be honest, it cannot come soon enough. The last few weeks have been miserable, to be honest. Any form of exertion, including just walking up a flight of stairs, has left me breathless and unhappy. I don't like being inactive. I hate being inactive. And just when I thought I was making progress, I got hit by this. And then there's been this kind of extended diagnosis and treatment schedule, which again, you know, has just been quite wearing. So that's where I've been. In a week's time, I should be fixed. There's a bit of a recovery period, but it's not onerous, and it's relatively short. The heart has to kind of heal after it's been burnt, or frozen, or lasered, whichever one they're doing. But I am very optimistic that this treatment is going to work and bring an end to this awful episode. So that's where we are. I will delay publishing this video until after the treatment and give you a little bit of an update about what it was like. I don't expect to know much about it. There's no general anaesthetic, but there is a local anaesthetic in the groin, and I think they give you some kind of, you know, probably quite a pleasant sedative type drug to stop you panicking when you realise that you've got wires going into your heart. Anyway, that's going to happen in a week, and I will update you immediately or pretty soon after it's done. Sorry I've been away, but I just didn't want to share all this miserableness. Okay, but we're on the way back up, I hope. Okay, chums, would you like an update? Well, here's an update, and the update is there's been a delay. All very well intentioned and probably for the best, but I saw the doctor, and the procedure that was going to be tomorrow is now not going to be tomorrow because the doctor wants to carry out 2 more specialist tests which will guide her actions on the day. It shows her the heart a little bit better and the state of it, and that will govern to a large extent the way she performs the procedure. So, yeah, I think I'm going to end this video here, actually, because maybe this could go on a bit. I mean, hopefully not. The delay is only a week long, but it's been an awful long time since I posted. So, yeah, let's end this one here, and I will come back to you after the procedure, at which point I will be in the 2 most joyous words in the English language to me, which are sinus rhythm. At least, fingers crossed, I'll be in sinus rhythm, and no reason to think that I won't be, actually. Yeah, looking forward to it. See you next time, YouTube. Thank you ever so much for watching.